Welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, episode number 53. This one I'm viewing the 955th episode of the anime, The Secret Life of the Insectmon. Oh boy. Yeah, I have to watch this episode. This episode is face-palmingly bad. Like, oh my god, this is one of the worst episodes I've seen for the entire series. Okay, there's only 4 regular characters who appear in this episode. Conan, Amy, Genta, and Mitchell. That is pretty much it. The founding members of the Detective Boys. There is no explanation of where the heck Agasa or Anita is. Heck, even if Agasa is not there, at least have Anita show up. No, she is completely absent from this episode for no reason at all. And they did Agasa. Oh, by the way, does this episode need a murder? Nope. There's like maybe one police officer who shows up in this episode at the very end. So the story of this episode is this. We have, believe it or not, okay, the Detective Boys the Junior Detective League decided to go to this town known for its Insect Man stuff, and basically Genta has got himself a giant freaking net. Okay? So they go around, they basically walk through town, and hear some strange sounds going at a shrine. And it's a bunch of guys digging for something. As of what it is, they explain a little bit later. And because they see them, they run away. Conan's like, why are you running away for? You just see them digging something. I mean, they think it's shell or something. Yeah, some of the stuff that happens is so stupid. And then apparently, here's something really weird. Apparently, all the kids in town, now apparently it's explained by one of the kids who's 13 years old, that apparently the story for what is going on is this, that a Japanese official, they don't name who this person is, they don't list if he's a member of the Diet or the Prime Minister. He's a guy with a fan who just wanted to build a casino and a public bath. Okay. I'm like, why the heck would he want to do that for at this particular place? Yeah, last time I checked, you have to get permission from, I don't know, the village to build this damn thing. I mean, yeah, it said that the mayor was against this particular idea, so despite all his warnings about a curse happening for Princess Gagi, yeah, I have no idea who this person is. So he gets spooked up by a cursed giant moth. And then of course everybody's happy. So he decides to want to build an Insect Man ranch run by the kids. I'm like, yeah, I get the fact some kids love insects, but I don't see anything wrong with this at all. So, yeah, the 2 kids basically dress like freaking cockroach, basically dress as bugs. So they explain it's via a picture movie, okay. And apparently the adults didn't like this up, but the kids loved it. So he said to retire, bought this land to build this ranch, and apparently said, oh yeah, there's actually treasure he wants to keep himself in this particular land. So he died after having some ramen. Yeah, he actually had cancer. And the most interesting thing in this whole episode is Conan doing investigating. And what did the Year 3 do? Put in insect suits, walk around town, go to the construction site, get chased by a bunch of adult men. No women, surprisingly. I'm like, where the heck are the women in this town? No, seriously, there's like no single women. It's just a bunch of guys and kids. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, if you would think of any woman in this whole town, there is one, an 11-year-old. Yes, an 11-year-old who plays doctor and wants to examine Conan. Okay? So, Conan goes to various places. First, he goes to the post office. Okay. Then he goes to a clinic. And then the village office. Yeah, he goes 3 places. Post office, I get, because they have records there. Okay, so he looks over, history of the town, fine. Goes to the clinic, trying to get what the Chimera died of. So, basically, the 11-year-old examines him. Like, Is this a recurring thing in filler where doctors love examining Conan? Yeah, and it's also noted by the 11-year-old that he's got high chemistry in his brain. That's due to the drug that's in his freaking body that was given to him again back in the pilot episode. Yep, Conan does not explain that at all. It just, oh, we have a reference to the drug. Yep, the freaking drug that shrunk him back in episode 1. First time it's mentioned in quite some time. Yeah, during the course of the examination, it's revealed that the mayor died of cancer. Oh yeah, and then Conan goes to the village office, check the official history. Oh yeah, and the whole thing with the treasure? Nothing but a big fat lie. Yep. So, Conan basically goes to the treasure site, and apparently what I'm thinking, the tomb of this princess. Now, the princess herself apparently was real. The treasure was bogus. Apparently she loved insects. Yeah, a lot of time women basically didn't like insects. Apparently she loved insects for some reason. Okay. And they get traced by a bunch of adult workers. And Conan reveals that, yeah, there was no treasure. And the whole purpose of this was to have him build the Insect Man Ranch. Okay. And the adults kind of believe him. And of course, they do point out, though, of why this whole thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, so build the Insect Man Ranch, and the kids just stop wearing the bug suits, and the whole town returns normal. The whole turn is apparently the kid is praying Mantis suit. Oh, by the way, what were the other two wearing? Mitch was basically dressed up as a freaking dragonfly. Amy was a ladybug, but she looks so adorable in that costume. The episode ends with Genta and the praying mantis chasing after his friends. That's it. That is pretty much the episode in a nutshell. Yes. By far, one of the worst episodes of the entire series. I mean, the only thing interesting about it is the animation and Conan's investigating. That's it. There's no murder this episode. I mean, I don't mind that occasionally with filler episodes we don't have an actual murder. But at least make it interesting. Don't make it so boring. Yeah, I have no problem with stuff involving insects. Not the first episode that involved insects. At least the last one was quite more interesting. That one involved beetles. This one was just boring. Like, oh my gosh, it is so boring. Yes, by far. Not only this episode is terrible, it is boring. Yeah, it's like, with the exception of Conan, the other three get virtually nothing to do except wear frickin' costumes the whole episode. Yep. At least the costumes look good. Yes. Not much else to say about this awful episode. It's just that it's an episode you can easily avoid. Yes. Lucky enough, next week we'll get a much better episode. Looks like it's going to be a multi-parter. Not the first one. But it's the first one I've seen for a filler episode in quite some time for this series, where it is a multi-parter, because usually multi-parters lately have been just reserved for canon episodes. Now we're back doing that for filler. I don't have a problem with this at all. Nope. But at least this one looks interesting because of frickin' murder. Yep. Nothing much else to say about this series, this episode. But yeah, easy skip. No need to watch this episode. I mean, the whole thing about the insect stuff, that is pretty much a minor footnote in this episode. Yeah. So I'm kind of like this. Okay, so the adults are looking for this treasure. I was thinking this whole episode. Like, okay, all the guys are looking for the treasure. Okay, who the heck is running this damn town? I mean, there's no mention of a new mayor after the previous one retired. Did they just abolish the position or something? Never reveal exactly what happened to it. Yeah, and it's like, okay, it was revealed that the whole thing with the people obsessed with the treasure. Yeah, and the treasure's nothing more than a big fat piece of bullcrap. Yes. I mean, it's relatively just a bad filler episode. Like, I would think of like one other thing basically is nice about this episode is performances by the sub actors. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. The story is terrible. The characters are pretty much useless. I mean, here's the thing. Aside from a few kids who get some names who appear like maybe one scene, yes, it's like this episode was just put together in a hurry because they just wrapped up doing a canon episode, so we gotta do a fill-up one. I mean, couldn't they at least take their frickin' time? I mean, yes, the series even skipped a week. Yes, it actually didn't air an episode last week, believe it or not. Yeah, didn't air an episode last week. So we come back after 2 weeks after the last episode, and we get this garbage of an episode. An episode that I think is useless, it's avoidable, and it's like, okay, is there anything, even though it's filler, is there anything advanced in the series plot? Nope. I mean, aside from not having Agasa and Anita, I mean, Richard, Rachel, these two do usually show up for full episodes. These two apparently are absent for some reason. And apparently, oh yeah, and how these kids got here? Train. Okay. Oh yeah, and Conan's phone is used. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Does he use any of his gadgets in this episode? The answer? No. He doesn't. The whole episode. I kept thinking though he might use his power shoes, his soccer ball, or his bow tie. He doesn't even have his bow tie in this episode, surprisingly. It's like the people who made this episode forgot the fact that Conan's got freaking gadgets. Yes. Yeah. So that's it for this particular review. My next film I'm going to do is a comic book, actually a lot more positive this next one. And I'm going to do it on Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Y'all get a chance, but I'll talk about that next, okay? Produce the next few. Bye.